What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler, and we are back for another video in our Pirates of the Caribbean community series, a community series that airs every other Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. This is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides month-ish kind of thing. We had gone through the first three movies. We have done reviews for them all. Definitely go back and look at that in the channel. And we've also done kind of special videos about each of the movies, like an add-on. So for this month, for the start of the month, we are going to be reviewing Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. We cannot wait. I assume Tyler has been prepping for this for literally years, and we're going to get in there. We're going to do it just how we've done the other ones. We're going to just review the movie, and then next time we are going to be giving what we would do to fix it. So we're going to kind of be rewriting it and saying how we would fix this movie. That would be the end of our Pirates of the Caribbean kind of this monthly cycle, and then we have a couple other things. We're going to go back to comments and suggestions that you guys had said, and we're going to go from there. We're going to mix in a lot of the stuff that you guys have been asking for, along with a couple other stuff, maybe some stuff talking about the future of Pirates of the Caribbean in general. So Tyler, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, here we go. We go from my personal favorite, the best one in Pirates 3. Go check out that review. It was awesome. And now we get to Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. 2011, 4 years after Pirates 3. I was very, very excited going into this. I think you were too. We actually saw it the same place, if you remember. You sat like 5 rows below me. But we both went to see it the same day in the same show, and I don't think we definitely didn't plan it. So let's do the same thing we did with all the other ones. Just a baseline, the whole movie. How was it? Not if anybody doesn't know.
I mean, we've talked about this movie so many times, but I can gladly rip into it, just even slightly. I'll just be like a very detailed assassin, like a torture assassin, just the right amount until it just kills you, but only after a couple minutes. I want to feel you suffer. Here's actually how I'm going to spin this review. I'm going to honestly try to talk about the positives. Only very, very little I'll talk about. That didn't make sense. I will only talk about the negatives, very little. I'll say all the things that it did well, all the concepts that it did or attempted to do well, and then I will talk about the negatives. But when I talk about the negatives, I will utterly destroy the entire movie. Okay? So it's going to be like, oh, he's trying to be my friend. No, wait, he actually wants to kill me. That's how it's going to be. And then I actually end up succeeding, and then you're not only dead, but the world never even cared the whole time. So what did On Stranger Tides do well? Well, it introduced us to more, Jack and Barbossa conversing. That was good to see. I like that. They were, the funny thing about 4, not so much in the beginning, but towards like the end, when it's Jack and Barbossa together, like, tied up and stuff, like when they're having the conversation, they're very much on the same like level. That's how it seems like to me, at least. Where before it kind of seemed like Jack always was trying to catch up to Barbossa in a way. Like Barbossa was just so much better pirate than Jack because Jack doesn't know what he's doing, even though he does know what he's doing. It just always seemed like Jack was trying to catch up. Not literally because of, like the telescope scene or anything. It just always felt like Jack was trying to catch up to Barbossa. But in 4, I kind of like that it seems like, years have gone by and blah, blah, blah. But it seems like Jack and Barbossa are more on an equal level now. And ironically, it seems like in 5 that this is what's interesting to me. In 5, even though Jack is at his worst, like he's in a major slump, he's down on his luck, blah blah blah. Ironically, in my opinion, so is Barbossa. I would almost say that yes, he has a fleet and all that, but he's out of touch. He can't fight anymore. He just eats like fancy food, and he has like people play music, and he's just tapping his little peg leg. But he's like no longer a pirate. Like he's fallen far from what he was too. So ironically, I almost say that in 5, Jack and Barbossa are also again equal. On like they're both fallen very far from what they were. So I feel like 4 and 5 like makes them at an equal level, which is interesting because in the previous movies, Barbossa was always far ahead of Jack in knowledge and just everything, every way. So I like that because that kind of makes your characters grow. Sometimes when you grow, you don't grow up. Sometimes you end up, going on a decline, like you end up hitting a slump. And I kind of like that, even though it happened different ways, that they both ended up at that kind of same like level. Just I feel like Jack obviously went left and Barbosa was going right, but they were both going down in just different directions. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. I like Jack and Barbosa talking. That was cool too. What else did I do good? I'm struggling here. I really am struggling because the movie just did not do much that was well. There was no Black Pearl. There really was no ship battles. Blackbeard was the weakest villain of all in any Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Here's what the concepts that I believe were good. The Queen Anne's Revenge, Sword of Triton, all of that stuff. Blackbeard, in a way. Not really, but sort of. Those were all good concepts. Having a ship that was controlled basically by the captain of the ship. That was cool. The flamethrower thing should have been way cooler than, like, look at what I can do. I have a flamethrower on my ship, and all I got to do is point my sword on this little guy. He's one person on a dinghy that's now on fire. Like, oh my God, you're so scary. You literally burned one person alive. Not an entire ship. Not an entire pirate ship the size that is equal to your pirate ship. A little dinghy and one measly guy. Oh my God, I'm trembling in my boots. So, the concept of the ship and all that stuff was cool. The concept of the zombies, that was dumb. That was stupid. The mermaids, that was cool. Introducing mermaids. Everybody knows mermaids across the entire planet. Everybody knows mermaids. What they did with them, I didn't like. They could have did something really cool with them. You know how they made them like sea demons or whatever? They could have did that in a much better way. And again, they could have utilized the fire and all that. Like, it could have been cooler. The concept of, like possibly living forever, then you end up finding out that you don't really live forever. You just kind of take whatever, years are left from this person. That was kind of cool, where it was like a push and pull. Like, it was kind of like there's a pro, but there's also a con. This person might only have 2 more years left to live, or it might, the only person who might be next to you is your wife, or something like that. So like that was actually kind of cool. Was it utilized? No, but it was a good concept. So it had a couple of cool concepts.
Okay, so what I'll say about this, and I do agree with a lot of what Tyler said, and I do think this film is very bad, just like Tyler thinks. Tyler definitely, I think, despises it more. But what I will say, for the pros, they did a decent amount of things good. The cons definitely do outweigh the pros. Like, there's just more bad than good in this film. And we want to be kind of, we want to be a little bit removed, but as fans of Pirates of the Caribbean, but we also want to be able to criticize the film and say what it could have done better. What I will say, I definitely liked the Jack Sparrow that we got in this film. Compared to the 5th one, this one's miles better. The 4th one, honestly, is a more grounded and emotional Jack than probably any of the 3 more consistently. I liked him the most in 3, because of the glimpses we got of the real, and we've talked about, the real Jack and all that stuff. He had his best moments ever in 3. I don't think there's any doubt. Overall performance, I thought he was the most consistent in 4. They did some different stuff with his character in 4 that I did definitely like, but he definitely was more grounded and emotional and not really that stupid. But not like super intelligent. But like you said, having him and Barbosa at a level playing field, he definitely looked like he was trying more with the Angelica relationship than she was trying with anything on that set. So he definitely tried there. And his relationship, with Gibbs and with Angelica related to Blackbeard, I thought he did a good job. I thought Johnny Depp did a fantastic job as Jack in 4. Barbosa, same thing. I think heavily underused in 4 as in 5 as well. Not used a lot in 4, but extremely good. A much different role. Maybe I didn't exactly like him in the role they gave him, just his position of power. But he did a lot of people did good. Gibbs did good. I will agree with Tyler. The concepts, they had a lot of concepts going their way. The beginning court scene was actually really cool. It was like a real fun little thing they did. And while it kind of got, muggled down with the chase scene and trying to make smaller set pieces seem so big, I did like the original, like the very beginning, the jury. I liked that. I liked the ending, though I liked the sword battle. I wish we had more of it, but I did like that. I liked Barbossa's little mission, and I did like a lot of the concepts. The idea of having Blackbeard, the most feared pirate, a pirate that a person, just a figure in history that a lot of people do know about in this movie was a cool idea. The mermaids, I thought, for the most part, were actually done pretty darn well. You know, they put a lot of work on Serena as like the main mermaid. That didn't go so well, but the mermaid concept and even the execution in the water, I thought actually that was a pretty good concept. Zombies, I'd agree with Tyler. Fountain of Youth, really, really cool. I've said it before, I do like that the premise of 4 was based off of the map at the very end of 3, where we see the words Aqua de Vida and we see the 2 chalices of Ponce de Leon's ship. We see that when Jack's looking at it in the dinghy at the end of 3, and that's what they chose to go with 4. I definitely like that, and I like the idea of the Fountain of Youth. I like that little ending chamber scene. Like, I liked how the fountain actually looked. I thought they did a good job with that. There were pros. There were definitely pros. But let's get into probably what people have come here for, Tyler. Go ahead. Rip it up.
All right, here's the deal, people. Here's the deal. The movie is so bad. It's hard to put into words. Like, a lot of you are like, well, it isn't that bad. It's one of the better. No, it's bad. Like, it's a bad movie. Angelica didn't work. For those of you who think she did, I don't see what you see. I'm sorry. It didn't work. Penelope Cruz did horrible in that movie. First of all, barely understand what she's saying. Second of all, she's an idiot. Like, not Penelope Cruz. She might be. I don't know. I never met her. But Angelica is just a complete idiot. Doesn't realize that her father's using her when it's blatantly obvious. Jack tells her, yet is mad at Jack for saving her. Like, I don't understand. That part doesn't make sense. Blackbeard, the most feared pirate, is so, like, he's way overweight, first of all. He's not threatening at all. He's like 5'2". Like I said earlier, Burns one guy. It's like, oh my god, he's so scary. He's not scary. Kill him. Like, just kill him. He's not scary at all. I just don't understand, like, why. That was horrible. The zombies made zero sense. They literally are like, well, zombies are a thing now, so let's just have zombies. That's not how you make movies. What they did to Barbossa, I kind of ended up getting because Jeffrey Rush was getting older, but that's totally not why they did it. But it, like, worked. They made it work in 5. But, like, cutting off his leg to be, like, what, a stereotypical... Why didn't you give him an eye patch, too? Just give him, like, a stereotypical pirate, like, with a peg leg? Like, that was dumb. What did that have to do with anything? Give Barbossa motivation to kill Blackbeard? Why did you need to give anybody motivation to kill Blackbeard? He's a bad guy. You just kill him because that's what you movies do. I don't understand why. Like, he cut off me leg, now I gotta kill him. Like, it doesn't make sense. Wouldn't the motivation be he's trying to kill Angelica, who Jack doesn't really love, but he cares enough about, and she's so stupid that she can't see it, so he's gonna have to stop Blackbeard before he kills an innocent woman who's like, just cares too much about her father. Isn't that justified? Like, you don't need to cut off Barbossa's leg. So, that is stupid. And that's the whole movie. That's actually the entire movie. I get, the Black Pearl was destroyed in, like, a hurricane, so that is excusable because they didn't control that. So I get that. That's cool. That's fine. I feel bad that happened because they probably did have plans. But then when you really think about the movie, like, there's no way. What was their plan? Because clearly Jack was going to be with Blackbeard, like, the entire movie, or Angelica the entire time, in order to end up in the same destination. So what would Blackbeard have done in, like, the original script? Tie the Black Pearl to the Queen Anne's Revenge and be, like, dragging it across the sea? Why would they end up in the same destination? Wouldn't Jack just go, like, the opposite direction? So, that doesn't make sense. Plus, Jack is the one who has, like, the key. Like, he understands how the Fountain of Youth, how it works. That's why Blackbeard brought him along. So, obviously, that was always kind of, like, the point. How to get Jack into being among Blackbeard. So, even, like, the original script had to have certain things. So, the only thing I can excuse is why there wasn't, like, a ship battle with Black Pearl. But even so, it didn't make sense. I kind of get like the more like ground, like adventure, like walking stuff, to kind of get off the ship because some of the movies did, you are on a ship a lot and you don't want to overdo it. I get that. That's fine. But like none of the sets were like interesting at all. They were all kind of similar. Like it all kind of felt like they were in the middle of like Madagascar, like the whole time. It was just like big leaves everywhere they were. So it never felt like in my opinion, it never really felt like they went like anywhere. Like it seemed like they were in the same location the entire time. So it didn't feel like an adventure. It felt super tiny. Like it felt small. Just all the way around. Like there was no major fights. Like the whole Spanish stuff, like the Spanish versus the British versus the pirates, like that did nothing. Like who cares? I don't care. The fountain of youth is destroyed. I don't care because they didn't give me a reason to care. Like did anybody actually? I'm literally asking you people to like comment. Did anybody actually think or care if Jack was going to get the fountain of youth? My answer is no. Like, did we really think Jack was going to get the fountain of youth and live forever? Of course not. No, who believed that? Nobody. No. So like when it was destroyed, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Either that or it just was kind of going to get like forgotten or like sealed. So that's not even. It's kind of like a throwaway point. It doesn't even matter part of the story. Did anybody really think Blackbeard was going to live? Or, I mean, some of us maybe thought he was going to be the villain at 5, like going in, because, what they did in 2 and 3. But then, like, kind of watching, it's like, thank God he's dead, jeez. And then when we find out, like, with the after credits, that, Angelica, like, standing around the island and all that stuff, it's kind of like, no, kill her. Please kill her really fast. I don't want her in 5. So, luckily, 6 erased her. But just the character, the mermaid and the church boy, like the new Will and Elizabeth, that didn't work. That was like one of the only things that was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of cute, but I don't want cute, like at all. Like he was dumb, she was pretty, but she was a mermaid. And like dying. So it's like she literally has to be in the water, otherwise she can't live. So obviously that was not a very good choice of your new like male and female like relationship person, because the one literally has to be in the water at all times or entrapped in a box full of water. So I'm not sure how much she can do. Like see, like that kind of stuff, it's just pure stupidity. Like what were you thinking? Your main like female lead is now trapped in a box of water or Penelope Cruz. Those are your two options? What? So it just, and the funny thing is like in the trailer, and like they tried to make like this draw like it was Jack versus Jack, like in the beginning of the fight. Like, why is Jack fighting an impersonator? That was stupid. Like that was dumb. I didn't even think that was enjoyable. That was like a mimic of like the Will and Jack fight, but the Will and Jack fight's way better. That was just stupid. Just to me, like all of it, and I'm not like hating to hate it. I want to like the movie. I tried earlier, as you guys can see, and I just can't. Did they have some good concepts? Yeah. Just like Star Wars is a good concept, but they don't pull it off. They do in the cartoons like Clone Wars and Rebels. For sure they do, but not in the movies. And that's what happened with Pirates 4. They had a good concept. It was a good idea, and they completely, in every single way, in my opinion, other than the Jack and Barbossa interaction, which 2 minutes not only does not save a movie, it totally doesn't even count in my opinion. They just, in every way, failed. In every single way, they failed. Not one thing in that movie. First of all, if everything could be erased in the matter of in the sequel, every single thing is erased. If everybody like realizes that, so it's a completely like it's 1, 2, 3, 5. No, like it doesn't even 4 does not even matter. And that's bad. That means that Disney knows it. Jerry Bruckheimer, they know it. And that's just not something that you want. That would be literally like if Star Wars Episode 9 took all the stuff from Star Wars 8, took what was introduced in Star Wars Rebels, spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil anything. They took the world between worlds, let Rey change the timeline in Star Wars 9, erase Star Wars 8's timeline, bring Luke back to life, change all this stuff, and like completely eliminated the entire Star Wars 8 movie. And then Star Wars 9 was like the new Star Wars 8. That is exactly what happened with Pirates 5 with Pirates 4. When that kind of stuff happens, that means like we made a huge mistake, and now we have to fix it, and that's what 4 is. So I just cannot. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. It's a B movie. Pirates 4 is a B movie. It literally feels like a direct to DVD movie to me. It's not Pirates of the it does not feel like Pirates of the Caribbean at all. And there's not much more I could say because just overall horrible movie. I actually can't even believe it. I'm glad, it was 2011. I just got out of high school at that time. But I still, like, to this day, can't believe they went from Pirates 2 and Pirates 3 to Pirates 4. How they got that low, I don't know. I really don't know. And I can't believe, thank God Disney gave them a chance to do Pirates 5. I don't know why I said Pirates 6, by the way, earlier. I meant Pirates 5. But thank God Disney gave us a chance for Pirates 5 because that totally gave us a chance for a Pirates 6 and possibly a future Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. If they didn't, I mean, we would have been left Pirates 4, and it's like, that's how this movie ends. That's how this franchise ends. But that's all I got for the review. Alex, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
No, I mean, I agree with a lot of it. It was a lot of concepts that didn't work. We can start with Serena and Philip. They did not, like you said, they were definitely trying to make this film too much like 1, 2, or 3 and kind of build it up. I understand it was the start of a new, kind of a saga, a new trilogy. So you had to have elements and you had to start to build up a new kind of world, and you weren't going to do that with Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom. Funny enough, they find their way back in the franchise, and now we fully expect like Will be a huge part of 6. It's almost like Pirates can't really live without Will, funny enough. But they tried to do this with Pirates 4, having those two be, like Tyler said, basically, I mean, the female lead, other than the one with Jack, is Serena. And did she do a bad job? No, I don't think she did a bad job. Her English isn't good, but that's because she's not English, especially back then. I think that was like her first English movie as well. So what are you really going to expect from this person? And like Tyler said, just the circumstances of her character, what do you expect? Philip, again, I thought he tried. I thought he put in a good effort, but it just didn't work. The whole religious aspect wasn't bad, but it didn't really do anything. It was just like my biggest word. It was just boring. Like watching it, I know Tyler can't even get through the whole movie because it's so boring. I can watch it, but when I did my marathon for Pirates 1 through 4, leading up to 5, there's just a sizable, a crater-like hole from 3 to 4. Once you watch 3 and then you watch 4, you're like waiting for something big and epic and fun to happen in 4, and it never does, and it feels like a drag throughout the whole movie. Nothing in it is really special. There's no relationship that's special. There's no character that really steals it. Some of them do decent performances, and I think Johnny Depp and Jeffrey Rush do good performances. I think those characters are strong, but you cannot have Jack lead a movie. And the funny thing is, in this movie, Jack leads. Pirates 4 revolves squarely around him. And the funny thing is, I thought he did a really good job. But it just kind of shows that there was no direction, there was no plot, there was no, forward sense of thinking of what they were going to do around him. So the movie just kind of crumbled around him, and he couldn't do anything to stop it. They had him in almost every single scene Johnny Depp is in, but he couldn't stop it because you have to give him something meaningful to do, or have him have meaningful relationships. He had a relationship with Philip that was stupid, with Serena not really, but with Angelica obviously, and that was just infuriating. Blackbeard, bad villain. Angelica, worse villain. Those two did not work just from the very beginning. The whole plot itself, I have talked about this before, and Tyler has too. I didn't like it literally in the very beginning when they said, when Angelica says that the one-legged man is going to kill Blackbeard in a fortnight. When she said that, I remember in the theaters saying Barbossa's going to kill Blackbeard. Why would you even introduce that as a concept so early, and then not just introduce it, but follow through on it? They could have changed it. Jack could have killed somebody could have killed him, but you literally tell us how it's going to end, maybe expecting us to think, oh, well, they'll throw us off. Like somebody else could kill him, or maybe they're going to kill Barbossa. Maybe he won't get the chance to do that. But no, actually, they told you what's going to happen within the first 20 minutes. So, I thought that was really, really stupid of them to tell us the ending in the very beginning. There was no sword fights other than the very end and the beginning. Like Tyler said, the Jack versus Jack thing, heavily, heavily choreographed. I'd rather them do something like 5, where there's equally not as much sword fighting, but at least I can kind of tell it's them. Like, I know Johnny Depp fought Salazar, like, on the ship, like, because he did. Like, he actually did his own sword work there. But, like, in this, like, when it's Jack versus Jack, that's not Penelope Cruz and Johnny Depp. That's neither of them are actually doing that. So it's very just, it doesn't even look right. The only thing that looks decent is the last fight. I mean, that does look like Jeffrey Rush actually doing most of that. But there's no sword fights. There's 0 literal ship battles. There's not a single one. So, just a lot of things that didn't work, a lot of concepts that didn't work, a lot of missing pieces. There's not much you can do about, no Orlando Bloom, no Keira Knightley. That sucks. There's nothing they can do about that. They didn't want to come back, so and like Tyler said, the Black Pearl, they lost the ship, the literal ship. They couldn't use it. So what are you going to do? But still, the concepts and the execution and the direction just didn't work with this film. And like Tyler said, he's very much right. When you have a film like this that's this forgettable, and the next movie goes so hard to make you forget about it and even tries to fix it, like what did they do in 5? They got the pearl back. They were stuck with Barbossa's leg, but other than the pearl, they didn't even mention anything in 4, right? So because they want you to forget about it. And I agree, if they did it with Star Wars, that would be that's bad. It's a terrible thing when a movie has to do that. And it really makes you see that everybody agrees that the one movie, in this case Pirates 4, was like that odd child, like you have to get rid of it. And they did in 5, and they did a really good job in 5, I think. So 4, yep, don't like it. I don't despise the film. I can watch it if it's on TV, like I'll have it in the background. I do not on purpose go and rewatch that. I watch 2 and 3 quite often, but I don't really watch 4. And I will say, even from being very loyal Pirates fan, like watching 4, there's just something missing. And last thing too, one of the biggest parts I didn't like is the music and the use of the cues and set pieces, which Tyler and I have talked about before. Running down a hallway, and I've said this like 5 times on these videos. I've said even more to Tyler, not on camera. Running down a hallway and having the same music play as the Maelstrom scene is not what you do in any circumstance. Like, Jack running down a hallway from soldiers is not the same level of intensity as the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl fighting as people are dying, and like the whole trilogy is at stake. They're not even close, and yet for some reason the same exact music, slightly altered, but the same music is used. Like, that is pathetic. I don't know who made that decision, but the whole movie felt like they were trying to make set pieces bigger than they actually were. I think if they went in thinking this movie was less than the rest of them, which they didn't, but if they did, I do feel like maybe we would have had a better time. If this was kind of promoted as the side story that doesn't really matter, I mean, obviously there would have been a lot of criticism, but I think overall, if it knew what it really was, then it would have been, I think, a whole lot better. Even if they used the exact same, if everything was the exact same, but they knew what it was, I think it would be better. So that's what I have to say. Obviously, neither of us like it. Bad movie, the worst of the 5. We already reviewed 5. Obviously, when the movie came out, we reviewed 1 through 3, so we're done. We have fulfilled our promise to you that you guys were asking back last May to review all the movies, and we did it. So again, in 2 weeks, we're going to be rewriting, kind of taking the concepts and what they did for Pirates 4 and changing it. What would we do in this case? How could we make this movie better? Let us know in the comments below what you guys would do, and I'm sure we'll hear from you in the next video as well. But again, these videos come out every other Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be going on for an indefinite future. We're just going to continue on. We're going to get to some of your topics as well as talk about really the future of Pirates of the Caribbean over the next couple months, and we'll just take it from there. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on the next video.